Hey everyone, this is the key skill of graphing, what we call standard form. Standard form, not a very descriptive name, but guess what? It's standard. And you can spot standard form because it's a coefficient. It's a number that's modifying the x variable. We go alphabetical order. Another number modifying the y variable, and then equal to a number equal to a constant term. So this is standard form. These are all standard form. There can be no coefficient or an invisible one in this case. If you have one of these drop out, it's really kind of just a boring horizontal or vertical line, so we don't really consider that standard form. But this is standard form, and the question is, how do we graph it? Well, the thing about standard form is that you can choose any variable to be your x, and you can basically just plot points that way. So if I chose x to be 1, then 1 times 2 would be 2, and I would need y to be a negative 10. So if I subtract a negative 10, I'm adding 10 to my 2, and I would get 12. There's only one answer to any equation once I've filled in a single number there. Once you get it down to a single variable, you'll get a single answer. So that means we are free to make a little chart like this with x and y values. And we could just write like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we could figure out what all the y values would be that correspond. We don't need to do 5 points, but we need to do more than 1 point, because 1 point will not determine a line, but 2 points will. So the easiest 2 points in the known universe are to say, well, if x is 0, what's my y value going to be? So when x is 0, this drops out, and I have a negative y equals 12. Well, you can just say, well, the only thing that I can reverse the sign on to give me positive 12 is if I start with a negative 12 and then switch the sign. So that's going to be the answer, negative 12. What this means is that this becomes the point 0, negative 12. I can plot that over here. If it goes 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15 like that, then I can plot 0 for my x, left and y, and down 5, 10, 11, 12. So there's 1 point, 0, negative 12. All right, now I'm just going to do that again with another point. Again, the easiest point is to use 0, but this time I've already done it for the x, so I must plug in 0 for y. Just cover it up. Just say, if I cover that up, what do I get? I get 2x equaling 12. Well, 2 times 6 gives me 12. If I need to divide by 2, if it's not something that goes in a nice round number, I might need to do that, but in this case I don't. So that tells me the point 6, 0. All right, so now I have to do the x first. There's 5, there's 6, and then I go up or down, nothing. These points on the axes are called intercept points. So this is my y-intercept right there because it intercepts or intersects the y-axis. This is my x-intercept because it hits the x-axis. All right, so that's all we need to do. If I had wanted to, I could do more points, x and y. I could choose 1 and 1 if I wanted, or I could choose 1 and 4 maybe, and I could work it out. Like I said, if I plug in 1, this would then be negative 10. So I would go over 1, I'd go down to negative 10 right there, 1, negative 10. This line represents all of the infinite points where I could plug in one x value and solve for another y value, okay? So try this one on your own. Practice that skill, pause and come back to it. Make a chart, and then go to town with 2 zeros there. All right, hopefully you paused and you tried this and you came back. If I plug in 0 for x, 5 times something gives me 56. Well, I think I can recall that 5 times 8 gives me 56. Check it on a calculator, verify that it works. So this is my point then, 0, 8. So I'm going to actually switch colors. Let me do this one first. If I do 0 for my y, 4 times something gives me 56. What is it that gives me 56? It's going to be 4 times 14. 4 times 14 will give me 56. So that is 14, 0. All right, I'm going to plot those in blue. So 0, 8 is right here, and then 14, 0 is out there. So this is that line. graphed using what's called the intercept method, all right? This is the intercept method. So use the intercept method on this one, all right? I've got a new set of axes I can plot it on. Again, make a little chart, X and Y. Pick the world's easiest values, 0 and 0. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Let's do the Y one first. When Y is 0, X is going to be multiplied by 10 to give me 30. That's dead easy. And now I know that my point 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then up and down nothing will give me my x-intercept. When I plug in 0, 2 times something gives me 30. Last time I checked, it was 2 times 15. So when I'm at 0, I'm going to go 5, 10, 15. Sometimes you need to change the scale. Looks like I'm compressing the y-axis a little bit, but I will get points that I can graph, and it'll fit on there more nicely, all right? And finally, this one here, again, make a little chart. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Pause if you need. When I cover up the x, -6 times y is 7. Oh, there's no easy number. So if I think of this as -6y equals 7, I just have to get rid of that -6. It's being multiplied, so I do the opposite of multiplying. I divide by -6, and so y then is equal to -7/6. Don't write 7 over -6. We tend to put the negative in the numerator or alongside, like right here. You could also do it like that and not write it there, -7/6. But that's -7/6, like that. Sorry, when x is 0, I wrote it in the wrong place, -7/6. So when x is 0, I'm going to go down just a little bit more than 1 right there. And I will just label it 0, -7/6. Then if y is 0, that's easy. If y is 0, that drops out, and x is 7. So x would be 7, 5, 6, 7. And so there would be my line. It would have a shallow positive slope like that, okay? So if you do this a bunch, maybe you'll notice shortcuts, and that is that if x is 0 and this drops out, then my y is going to be equal to c over b. If my y is 0, my x is only being multiplied by a. If y is 0, that drops out, and I've got ax equals c. So x is equal to c over a, all right? So those are shortcuts. Then if you think about finding the slope, to find the slope, this c will have no real importance, because if I take and want to get the y equals mx plus b form, get the y by itself, I'm going to move the a over, so I'll say by is equal to -ax plus c, and then if I divide both sides by b, I have to divide everything by b, and I'll get y is equal to -a over b x plus c over b, and this will be slope-intercept form from standard form. Okay, so that's what this is all about. As a little example, suppose we had 3x plus 4y equals 12. Well, we want to get it into y equals mx plus b form. We'd subtract 3x from both sides, and we'd have 4y is equal to -3x plus 12. We write it that way because that's the standard, or that's the y equals mx plus b form order in which we do it. So then I would divide everything by 4, and then I'd get my final answer would be y equals 3 over 4 with the minus sign, x, and then plus 3, because 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, so that's a lot of skills. Practice, practice, practice.